Welcome to Criminal Gines, a comedic true crime watch-along podcast where we watch Criminal Minds, all 15 seasons, and discuss the true crime that can be linked, however indirectly, to the episode. We're your hosts, Stacey Johnson and Veronica Shea, and this week we're joined by Rocky Roberts in discussing Season 2, Episode 10, Lessons Learned.
I'm going to go back to sleep.
Me too.
Good for you.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, how fun. What a great... Here we are.
Let's all go back to sleep.
Okay.
Okay, Rocky, thank you for coming back onto the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
We're here for episode 32, season 2, episode 10, Lessons Learned.
Lessons learned. So, we start the episode. There's a raid in progress where we stumble upon a terrorist contraption. The BAU is quickly introduced to the newest member, Emily Prentice, and then they all get to work. Like, it's a real quick, like, hey, what's up? Let's go.
Our queen, Emily
Our
Prentice.
queen. We love her. We are so excited that Elle is gone. The team has discovered that this contraption is a chemical leaking thing, they said, and it is quite sophisticated. They think it could be Al-Qaeda, and then Emily pipes in and she impresses them by reading an intercepted note in Arabic. They're all like, well, you read Arabic? You what? Crazy. The note states that they have about 2 days to figure this out before the next issue. Hotch tells Gideon to take Prentice to Guantanamo Bay because she speaks Arabic, because they are going to go interrogate a man whose name was used to rent the hotel room where they found this contraption. But he has been imprisoned there, and they are going to try and get information out of him before the next attack. Reed, Gideon, and Prentice are on their way. So dramatic. I like reading these things. It's fun for me. Upon arrival at Guantanamo Bay facility, the team takes an approach opposite of what's been done to the detainee. Less punchy and more respect and talky. They need to gain his trust. Back at the
Stacey in for some diplomatic help at Gitmo. Less punchy, guys. More talky.
Less punchy and more talky, right? So back at the hotel where the device was found, Morgan finds a list of chemicals that is needed to weaponize anthrax. Garcia is able to find a coded message that states the gift will be at the barn, which is a construction site in Virginia that they are able to find. They think another device is going to be armed and ready to blow up. Gideon is going toe-to-toe with the prisoner on the teachings of the Quran and faith and whether or not violence should be used based on their belief systems. And the prisoner starts to open up a little bit and tells him a bomb hit the bazaar where his family was when he was 8 years old, saying like half of his family is dead now. They later, this is a little spoiler, they later discover this was a lie. Hotch and Morgan go to the construction site where they think there is nothing. After some hand sleuthing from Reed while observing Gideon telling him of the team's discovery, he calls Hotch to tell him to evacuate now, he says in like a really aggressive way, which is fair because it's about to explode. They have all been duped and the construction site blows up. Hotch and Morgan survive, but they did lose one SWAT team member. Sorry about Kenny, LOL. That made me laugh. Oh yeah, that's right. There was a moment in the episode where they were like, hey, sorry about Kenny. And then I just laughed.
I didn't even notice that somebody died in that. Honestly, I didn't even notice that.
Oh my god!
Right.
I thought they all got out.
No. Kenny died.
Kenny died, Rocky.
Oh well.
Kenny died, and I feel so bad for Kenny.
R.I.P. Kenny.
It's my dad's name.
Oh,
was it your dad?
Uh-uh.
Oh well.
Drama.
I talked to him today. He's good. He's all right.
Okay, good.
Good. Well, no anthrax was used on that bomb, but we're back with the prisoner, and the prisoner is a truly emotional moment with Gideon when telling him his son was killed. Reed has Garcia look up bombings in Cairo in recent years and are able to find out the prisoner's true identity and who he is. He's a high-up terrorist.
As opposed to a low-down terrorist.
Yeah, exactly. There's like a bar system. There's a tier system with these terrorists, right?
He's like a Cheesecake Factory terrorist, not a McDonald's terrorist, dude.
Oh.
Hey, now.
I could go for a pineapple upside down cheesecake from Cheesecake Factory right about now. Anyways, so they find out that the terrorist had come to America to recruit sleeper cells in prisons by preaching to them and teaching them teaching him his teachings. Anyways, Garcia finds that there was a security break at a Dutch biochem lab in which 20 grams of anthrax is missing. After doing a little digging, they find out a Dutch Islamic terrorist that traveled to the U.S., and they all head to the address that it was listed on his customs form. But upon arrival to the home, the team find a mess of dead bodies in what appears to be a lab. They were killed execution style, and no anthrax was on the scene. After finding some tags and backpacks, they see that the unsub or the terrorist group is on the move. Gideon brings Reed in to the oh, Jesus Christ. Let me start that one over.
Let's try.
Words are hard. Gideon brings Reed into the interrogation room and tells the prisoner he's been lying to him and that Dr. Reed has been analyzing him from afar. Dr. Reed spills the info to the prisoner that he found out about his life and what happened to his son. Gideon gets a call in his earpiece and dramatically leaves the room. He opens the door to a TV news station showing that there has been a terrorist attack. Gideon asks the prisoner, how could you abuse your faith for violence? Things spice up a little bit and the prisoner lets loose. The attack location was a big mall. Gideon swiftly leaves and Reed calls Garcia to turn off the feed. The prisoner realizes it was all a ruse. Bum, bum, bum. So then the team heads to the mall, this big mall that's opening. It's the same mall where Hotch's family is supposed to be. Through security footage, so that the team is they are able to find that there's people on the roof heading towards the vents. Morgan masks up and takes out the people on the roof before the anthrax is released. And then that's the end.
Oh, we really ramped up to it.
We really did. I didn't really end that well. But I did write this quote at the very end. There was, you know how they always do a quote. And I really liked it. It said, in order to learn the important lessons of life, one must each day surmount to fear.
Wow.
So
deep.
Really makes you think, dude. Really makes you think.
Now, I know that this is Rocky's favorite episode. He was telling me before you got on, Stacey, how much he loves
you know what
Criminal Minds.
Yeah, I realized last night that how much I hate that fucking show. It's just so cheesy. Wait, is Gideon the main dude?
Gideon is like the guy.
Mandy Patinkin.
Yeah, Mandy Patinkin.
He's the one that he's famous for flipping out on other actors and shit.
Yeah.
I would laugh so hard if he flipped out on me filming that show. I'd be like, "Are you fucking kidding, dude? We're filming Criminal Minds, dude." It's fucking so dramatic.
Chill the fudge out.
Yeah, it's like a stage play. It's so intense.
Yeah.
And the way he's talking to him about and he's clearly got the fucking giant earpiece.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? While he's in there.
Yeah.
It's just so silly. How come all those shows also, how come the tech person is some insanely unfuckable woman that was crazy Barbie pigtails? You know what I mean? It's you know what I mean? Someone who never got laid. Never, ever, ever. Nobody's ever asked this woman on a date.
Aw, poor Garcia.
That we know of.
It's just that character.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the equivalent of having a big fat dude eating Cheetos behind the computer that can't do anything but play on the computer and eat.
Don't
you know
they
what I mean?
Don't they have a similar character in there's one in Bones, but I think it's a boy.
CSI?
CSI, yeah.
Yeah,
NCIS.
Wait, is that the one where she has black hair and pigtails?
Is NCIS.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why are the computer girls supposed to be the cool,
They're like the goth girls. She's the goth girl. Garcia's the blonde goth girl.
I said unfuckable, but she probably has an OnlyFans.
Oh, I would subscribe.
Yeah, I would too.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too, dude.
I'm into it. Okay, but what we do get is a lot of Derek Morgan breaking indoors.
Gimme more.
He's probably the most important person on the show because he's the piece of ass, right?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
He's the piece of ass. There are too many characters also.
Rocky is really telling us how he feels about Criminal Minds this episode.
No, I'm
just here for it.
I'm just sleepy.
He's just a grumpy little teddy bear right now.
Do you need a nap and a snack?
No, I'm okay. I had a cup of coffee. I'm a little better.
I need a snack and a nap is why I was asking.
Oh, okay.
She's like, I thought we could all take snap breaks.
Yeah, why don't you guys be the first nap podcast?
Oh my god, could you imagine? Tune in to listen to three people sleep.
Just go to sleep.
God. People would do that though. People are into some weird stuff. I would do it.
So we had Derek Morgan, and we have this photo of him being like, look at this thing in my hand. But I don't know what it is because it got cut out of the photo.
But probably doesn't matter, right?
No, because look at his face.
I'm already ready with my rating.
Oh, okay. So, Rocky, if you remember, it's 1 out of 5 helpings. Mm-hmm, Stacey tries to throw in 10s, but that's not.
I was literally just about to say 10.
Yeah, no.
But it's a 5. I want him twice.
Oh. Okay.
I just realized what I did. 5. This is a good one for me. It's a good photo. Good moment. I'm here for it. He's got the little who me look to his face. Yeah.
Great. I love it. Rocky?
Yeah,
I know
5.
You love. Oh, yeah.
5.
Across the board.
5s across the board.
That's a handsome man. I'm not going to say he's not.
He's very handsome. I'm going to actually give him a 3, though, because we've had better. I know.
The drama.
It's because Alyssa Poteet has gotten to me about his eyebrows.
What's wrong with
it's a little too much. She's like, they're huge caterpillars and they're just out of control.
Oh, are they?
And now I'm like
that though.
I know, I have thick eyebrows, so I can't really.
I like thick eyebrowed man.
Yeah, if I don't pluck and trim, this would be out of control.
Do it.
All of our eyebrow games are on point right now, you guys.
Yeah,
they are.
I agree, dude.
Okay, amazing. I had to look up cults and terrorist activities, and both of which I think are boring. So here we go.
What?
That's okay. We're gonna power through this.
I know.
You only like just regular old school murder.
I like sexual serial killers specifically.
You would, dude.
I know.
Do you have therapy today? I think you need to go to therapy after this too.
Who needs therapy when you do stand-up comedy?
Well, I was like, I do. I had it last week.
Stand-up comedy is the worst form of therapy. It's therapy where your therapist is laughing at you. Or not, and that's worse.
Oh, God. And they're like, oh, this isn't good. And you're like, no, it's funny. And they're like, no.
Yeah, you're like, this is funny. This is funny. Why aren't you laughing? This is funny.
And the audience is just like crying.
I wrote this with my brain.
Okay, so we are here to talk about Shoko Asahara and Aum Shinrikyo. Aum Shinrikyo. If I say it enough times, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I also am really mad. I always get the foreign names episodes.
Yeah, I don't know how this happened. I had to do
French. I had to do insane English countryside names, and now I'm doing Japanese. So I apologize for anyone that I'm going to offend.
That happens anytime I'm going to host a big show. It's always comics that I've never heard of, and the most fucked up last names or first names.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hate that.
So here we go.
It's not their fault. It's our fault.
It's my fault, probably.
Yeah, exactly. It's your fault.
Shoko Asahara was born Chizuo Matsumoto.
Yes.
And he was the founder and leader of the Japanese doomsday cult Aum Shinrikyo. Matsumoto was born in 1955 to a large and very poor family in Kumamoto. This is going to be a lot of me editing out me trying to say these.
You did good.
Thank you so much. Because he had infantile glaucoma, he was blind in one eye and partially blind in the other, and he was sent to a school for the disabled. And because of this disability, he couldn't work for the family business, so he just never went back home. So he was sent away when he was 6 because he was blind.
Mm-hmm.
That's crazy.
Right? But he was the only student there with partial vision. So he was kind of head disabled kid. And it made him kind of well-liked, but there's also reports that he was a huge bully and would extort money from the other students and, like, beat them.
Mm-hmm.
And as a teenager, he developed a fantasy about ruling a kingdom of robots with total power, and he aspired to be the prime minister of Japan. So that's cute, as one does.
Yeah.
He graduated his school in 1973, but was rejected by Tokyo University, where he wanted to go to study politics. So instead, he studied acupuncture, which I guess is a common career for the blind in Japan.
What?
Yeah.
I
guess you could feel where it's going, but I'm like, I think I would like, if you're going to stick me with needles, I want you to be able to see where you're going.
I can also feel where it's going.
Ooh. Yeah.
So he became an acupuncturist, and he established a Chinese medicine shop outside of Tokyo. He got married to a woman in 1974 and would eventually father 12 children.
So crazy.
So that's
a lot of children.
That's so many children. That's too many.
Yeah.
That's too many children.
Yeah.
So in 1981, Matsumoto was convicted of practicing pharmacy without a license and selling unregulated drugs, and was fined 200,000 yen. So he's already off to a great start in his quote-unquote legitimate career.
Absolutely.
But it was around this time that he became interested in religion, starting with Chinese astrology and Taoism. And then he began practicing Western esotericism, yoga, meditation, esoteric Buddhism, and esoteric Christianity. And then he grew out his hair and beard and started calling himself Shoko Asahara.
Mm-hmm.
So he has ascended to cult leader soon. I mean, we're in the beginnings, but
we're in the beginning stages.
He's rebranding. Then, in 1984, he began making pilgrimages to India, where he met the 14th Dalai Lama. And at this point, he would claim to his followers is when he achieved enlightenment. He met Shiva and was given a special mission to preach real Buddhism in Japan.
I want to know what the difference between real Buddhism and like fake Buddhism is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he was big into the esoteric religions, which I guess is just like there's a secret third thing that only you know if you study esotericism. It's like the mysticism of it, but no one can actually tell you like what it is because it's a secret and it's magic.
Of course.
So yeah, naturally.
Yes, as you do.
He permanently returned to Japan in 1987, and shit got real. This is when he assumes the title Sonshi, Guru, and he began claiming that he had mastered meditation to such an extent that he could levitate.
Of course.
Yeah. So this is when he founded Aum Shinrikyo. Aum Shinrikyo.
Beautiful.
Which means levitating, right?
Exactly. It means supreme truth.
I love them. Great people. Good guys. Good dudes.
Can't say enough good stuff.
Can't say enough. Great guy.
So this was founded in 1987, and it began as a yoga and meditation class that he like held in his 1-bedroom apartment with his 25 children.
Lit.
It was called Omu Shinsen no Kai, which translated means Om Immortal Mountain Wizard Association.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Love it.
That is my favorite Black Sabbath album.
Oh my god.
So they would gain official status as a religious organization in 1989. And so they could basically like start doing stuff without government regulation, which was not great. And Shoko Asahara worked to attract graduates from Japan's elite universities, and it quickly became known as the religion for the elite. And he kind of became like a minor celebrity and would go on like daytime talk shows and stuff. It was a controversial group, but ultimately it wasn't associated with any crimes until Asahara became obsessed with biblical prophecies. Historically, that doesn't go well for groups.
I was just going to say that is where it starts. That is where the bad stuff starts. In cults.
Totally. Oh,
Yeah,
totally.
That's where the uh-oh comes in, yeah. Yeah, because he seemed like a cool guy. He was like funny, and he's like on those shows. He's like a cool guy. He's got his beard and his hair, and he's kind of squinty because he's blind, but he looks like he doesn't care. You're like, oh man, he doesn't care. You're like, no, he's fucking blind. You're like, but he looks cool though. He's like, People are like guiding him around.
He's got that, je ne sais quoi.
Yeah, dude. What does that mean? Chill? That means chill, right?
It means chill. Yeah. So Aum's PR department started publishing comics and animated cartoons as basically religious propaganda to tie their ideas to popular anime and manga theme. How do you say that?
Manga.
Manga?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't want to correct you. It's going to seem like I like that shit.
I know. To tie their ideas to popular anime and manga themes, such as space missions, powerful weapons. Hi, Rogue.
She's so upset because she got told not to bark.
She's like,
why?
Okay?
Are you okay?
She's like, no.
That's adorable.
Yeah, she's being a baby right
now. Space missions, powerful weapons, world conspiracies, and the search for ultimate truth. The advertising and recruitment activities of this group, known as the Aum Salvation Plan, included claims of curing physical illness and realizing life goals. So basically any self-help group. But their initiation rituals often involved using hallucinogens like LSD. So it's like, okay, good times. And then their practices involved yoga, what they called yoga, but would include things from members being hung upside down and like electroshock therapy.
That's wild.
Jackass yoga.
Exactly. Like, I don't know what kind of yoga.
Hey, I'm Steve-O, and this is yoga.
Yeah.
Start tasing him.
Amazing. Well, he's like trying to hold positions. They're just
like
cattle prodding him.
Hitting him with a paintball gun.
And he's like in mountain pose. He's like, ah.
Yes.
So the group began attracting controversy in the late 1980s. This is, corresponds when they got religious status with the government. And they were accused of lying to their recruits, holding members against their will, forcing members to donate money, and murdering a cult member who tried to leave in February of 1989.
Yep.
Just a few things.
As you do.
You cannot leave a cult. They just won't let you go.
Yeah, blood in, blood out. Let's go.
You know what's funny? It sounds a lot like the military. The more I think about it, like I was in the Navy, and I had to go through 2 months of hazing boot camp, and then 4 years of you got to do this. You can't leave.
Yeah.
Yep.
So in October 1989, the Tokyo Broadcasting System Television taped an interview with an anti-cult lawyer, Tsutsumi Sakamoto, who was working on a class action lawsuit against Aum Shinrikyo. And it was secretly shown to the group, who then pressured the broadcast company into canceling the show, which they did. Then on November 5th...
There's no one. That's nothing. No one. Literally.
She's like, Dad, please listen to me.
It's the neighbors. I can hear the neighbors bringing in groceries or something.
She's protecting you.
I know. You're good job. Now you can stop.
So on November 5th, a few weeks later, a group of members went to Sakamoto's apartment where he was bludgeoned with a hammer, injected with potassium chloride, and strangled.
Jesus.
Then his wife was beaten and injected with potassium chloride, and their 14-month son was also injected with potassium chloride.
I'm sorry, that's yoga again, you said?
Yes.
That's doing yoga? Okay.
This is yoga.
That's
this
yoga.
Is forced yoga. Their teeth were smashed to prevent identification, and the family's remains were put into metal drums and hidden in 3 separate rural areas around Japan. They said that they did this so in case the remains were discovered, police wouldn't link the incidents. I think that would assure that they were linked together.
Yeah, for sure, yeah.
Cults are savvy, but they're not necessarily smart.
Yeah. The remains, though, wouldn't be discovered until after capture of people in connection with the 1995 bombings that we are coming up to. So, fast forward to June 27th, 1994, 5 years later, the cult perpetrated a chemical weapons attack against civilians by releasing sarin gas in Matsumoto. The goal was to target 3 judges who were supposed to be ruling on a lawsuit, on a real estate lawsuit against the cult, as well as to just test their homemade sarin gas.
As you do.
As you do. So they were going to release a sarin aerosol into the vents of the courthouse, but the members arrived too late and the courthouse was closed. And I feel like this is could have really gotten a jump on the day. But it seems like a very loosely organized.
They had to stop at Starbucks first.
Right? What a shitty cult.
I mean, it's just they're not good at planning.
No.
So instead, they pivoted and targeted a 3-story apartment building where the judges lived, but they didn't use the vent system of the apartment building. They had this converted refrigerator truck that released gas out into the world, just like a drive-by gassing.
That's not very smart.
Drive-by gassing. That's what I call. I'm just kidding.
Oh my god! Stay safe.
That's a new term for crop dusting.
Good one.
Dead.
Thank you.
But a total of 274 people were treated for gas exposure, and 5 died. 5 residents of the building were dead.
From them doing it on the street?
Yes, from them doing it on the street.
Oh, wow. Shit.
Damn.
And then 3 others died in the hospital. So ultimately 8 deaths in this drive-by.
Yikes.
The group began keeping an assassination list.
Oh.
And a cartoonist was on the list by the name of Yoshinori Kobayashi. Mm-hmm. And he was added to the list after he began satirizing the cult, and an attempt on his life was made in 1993. So they were very serious about their little cult, their assassination lists.
Absolutely.
In July of 1993, cult members sprayed large amounts of liquid containing anthrax spores from the roof of Aum Shinrikyo's Tokyo headquarters. But their plan to cause an anthrax epidemic ultimately failed. They weren't as good at anthrax as they were at sarin, apparently.
Oh, gotcha.
And that's when they started ramping up their production of sarin gas and VX gas, and they began using them in several assassinations between 1994 and 1995. They targeted mostly outspoken activists, defectors of the cult, and suspected spies. So, on March 20th, 1995, Aum members released their homemade sarin gas in 5 coordinated attacks on 3 lines of the Tokyo Metro during rush hour, affecting 5 trains passing through Kasumigaseki and Nogotacho, where the Japanese parliament is headquartered. So they were kind of attacking governments, officials and people going into work at the government. The attack killed 13 people, seriously injuring 54, some of whom later died, and causing temporary vision problems for nearly 1,000 more people. Some estimates claim that as many as 6,000 people were injured by the sarin attacks, but it's hard to get an exact number, I guess, because a lot of the victims were reluctant to come forward.
Which is weird to me.
Oh shit.
I don't understand.
Well, it seems like if you spoke out against them, you got added to a list.
Yeah, fuck that.
Okay, never mind. Take it back.
Yeah, they were at this point just domestic terrorists, and so this was a huge attack for Japan. This was their big one. So it's believed that this act of domestic terrorism was carried out because Shoko Asahara was tipped off that the police were planning a major raid of all of the cult locations on March 22nd. And they wanted to hinder the police investigations. They wanted to spark the apocalypse that they believed was coming, and they wanted to start a 3rd World War.
How do you spark the apocalypse?
Or how do you start a 3rd World War within your country? The keyword, you need more. There's a world.
Yeah. So it did none of those things. Spoiler, none of those things happened. The police carried out their raids on the compounds across the country, and they found so many explosives. They found tons of weapon components and blueprints because they were trying to reverse engineer and mass produce the AK-47. They were calling it the AK-74, and they had smuggled one in from Russia so that they could try to reverse engineer. They also found a Russian MiL Mi-17 military helicopter that they had smuggled in from Russia. And how do you smuggle in a helicopter?
Yeah,
I don't understand.
They know how to fly it?
Smuggle.
That's insane.
Right? And then they found chemical weapons because that was their bread and butter, but they found stockpiles of chemicals that could be used to produce enough sarin to kill 4 million people.
Oh, shit.
So these guys were like all
They were
in
serious. They were not fucking around.
Not fucking around. Now, coincidentally, maybe tied, maybe not tied, coincidence, the chief of police was shot 4 times near his house in Tokyo on March 30th, 8 days after the raids.
Absolutely.
On April 23rd, the head of Aum Shinrikyo's Ministry of Science was stabbed to death outside the cult's headquarters in a crowd of 100 reporters and on camera
Shit.
by a member of Yamaguchi Gumi, which is Japan's largest Yakuza organization.
Oh, the Yakuza are insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those are actually scary dudes.
Serious,
like their mob,
scary
right?
gangsters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's their mob.
Yeah.
So
They're scary. Yeah.
they don't
Yeah.
know what the motivation was for that attack, just that he did it. Then on May 5th, a burning paper bag was discovered in a toilet at the Shinjuku station, and it was
But that was a
revealed-
prank. That was just some kids
Well,
burning a bag of shit.
that would be hilarious. Just like dog shit starts appearing everywhere.
Oh my God.
No,
Ugh, tell me about it. I have a new puppy.
No, but it was revealed that it was a hydrogen cyanide device, and that had it not been extinguished in time, it would have released enough gas into the ventilation system of the subway to have killed 10,000 commuters.
God.
Jesus.
So, like, luckily it was found in time. Then on May
Man.
16th, Bubby, on May 16th, a parcel bomb was mailed to the governor of Tokyo's office, blowing off the fingers of his secretary.
Oh, fuck.
I know, Bubba, we're all
Ouch.
upset about it. On that same day, May 16th, Shoko Asahara was finally discovered hiding in a false wall in the Komikuishiki complex and was arrested. Bartok, come here, please. Why? Tell me.
There, he got it out.
It's called gentle parenting, Rocky,
Yeah.
okay? On July 4th, though, several other undetonated cyanide devices were found at other locations in the Tokyo subway. So
Crazy.
even though the leaders were starting to get arrested, they were continuing on as planned. So,
Like a good cult.
like a good cult.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
as you do.
Now, Asahara faced 27 counts of murder in 13 separate indictments, and it was
Jeez.
argued that his attack of the subway system was an attempt to overthrow the government and install himself as the Emperor of Japan. The trial took more than 7 years to conclude, and it was also
Oh,
Bubba.
He's so cute.
that was a cute one.
And it was also posited that the attacks were, of course, used to divert police attention. And Asahara was formally accused of the Matsumoto incident, which was the attack on the judges, and the Sakamoto family murders. Some of the group's disciples, or I guess of his disciples, testified against Asahara, and he was ultimately found guilty on 13 of 17 charges, including the family murders. So, justice for the Sakamoto family. He was sentenced to death on February 27th, 2004, but would not be executed until 2018.
Dang.
Damn.
He was put to death by hanging, along with 6 other cult members.
It's crazy that just happened like a few years ago.
Yeah.
Yes, very, very recent.
Yeah.
So Asahara's last words, apparently, were he assigned his remains to his 4th daughter, who was unsympathetic about the cult. Or unsympathetic to the cult. She was not about the cult at all. And she stated she planned to dispose of the ashes at sea, which was contested by Asahara's wife, his 3rd daughter, and other family members who were suspected of wanting to enshrine the ashes where believers could honor them.
God.
As of 2020, the ashes were still at the Tokyo detention house.
Oh, shit.
She had just left them.
Nice.
So, you might be asking, where are they now? And that's a really good question, you guys, because Fumihiro Joyu, one of the few senior leaders under Asahara who did not face serious charges, became the official head of the organization in 1999.
Dang.
Koko Ishii, a legislator who formed an anti-Aum committee in the parliament in 1999, was murdered in 2002. They have an estimated just over 1,000 members worldwide, 1,000 followers worldwide today.
Still?
And they are now called Aleph. Aleph? Aleph.
Dang.
So they rebranded. And,
As you do.
And then you can join. You can join up to do some yoga.
It's crazy that they're still active. Like, this didn't take the cult down. I was watching another documentary about a cult, the Love Has Won documentary.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I cannot. That is the craziest shit. That's literally one of the craziest things I've ever seen. Ever.
Oh, absolutely. And what's crazy is they are still believers to this day.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what?
They're
Children
still
of God still has members.
It's
what?
Children of God has members worldwide. Yes.
Isn't that the one that like River Phoenix's family was in? Yes. That
OG
one was
child cult. Yeah.
Yes, that's the one they're like, hey, fuck kids. Why not have sex with kids? You should be having sex with kids.
Yes.
God.
Yeah, that one is insane.
No, thank you.
Yeah. It's very rare, I think, for cults to actually disappear. It's kind of what I was learning by watching all these cult programs. And it's usually only if the cult does like mass suicide. Well, quote unquote suicide, but like Jonestown and Heaven's Gate.
Yeah.
Manson. Like, you know what I mean? It's these like weird ones if they take the whole cult at once.
Jonestown is just like a different thing because like, they just murdered everyone. They were like, fuck it. If I'm going to die, everyone's going to die.
Correct.
That one was fucked up.
Yeah. Jonestown.
Yeah, that one was fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, cults are crazy. And they're like all the same. They're all the same.
Yeah. You know, it's so funny, like, because I got involved in church on my own when I was like 16.
Yeah.
Really? Interesting.
For a girl, though. It was for a girl. Like, my family didn't raise me in church. We never went to church or anything. And I started doing it. My dad used to make fun of me for it, actually. Because he raised me he raised me listening to, like, Slayer and Ozzy Osbourne and stuff. So it was a joke to him that I was doing it for a girl. And then, like, just watching all this, I'm like, it's straight up as a cult. Because I got involved from, like, the youth level, you know, it's like youth ministries, and then we had this big cool building with crazy things on the walls, and but it's like it was speaking in tongues and shit. It's like it's really weird to get all these kids there that are just coming to this youth group and teaching them how to speak in tongues, and their family, my family wasn't into that. My dad thought that was the weirdest shit in the world, you know.
Yeah, it is really interesting. It makes me think a lot about like mega churches and
That's
just like
what it
the philosophy. Yeah, the philosophy behind mega churches. I understand, like, I don't understand religion, but I understand having a spiritual belief and religion, but I have a hard time with like the mega churches and understanding the why behind that.
This was a Houston, Texas mega church.
That tracks.
That I was at. And it was so big that they had interns to work at the church. And they took me on as an intern, and they would send us to Bible college. So I was going to Bible college and shit. And I was preaching. I was preaching children's church. So regular
How
church
do you not talk about that on stage?
This is not funny.
That's funny. Preaching is funny.
That's where I built my stage presence. That's where I learned sound and video because it was a mega church and I would do the sound and video. And that's where I learned how to play the drums too. I taught myself just like after church, I would sit there and just play drums for like hours.
Wow.
Yeah. And then the girl dumped me and I joined the Navy. I was like, I got to figure out something.
You switched one belief system for another.
Well, I knew I was doing it for her, you know, but as soon as she broke up with me, I was like, I was cheating on the fucking... They trusted you, so they would send you home with the tests, like Bible college, and they would also give you the textbook. And they'd be like, don't cheat, we trust you. And I'm like, fuck you, I have the book right here.
Yeah, I would do the same thing.
I'm like, I'm cheating, and this is to be a minister, like, this is all fucked up.
Oh my God.
So I just quit it. I had to step away.
You hit it and quit it.
I didn't hit it.
You hit the church.
Listen. Had I hit it, I probably would have left the church a long time before.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
I was thinking about starting a cult. Would you guys join it?
Yes. No. Oh.
Yes.
Thank you, Rocky.
Yeah, we would. We wouldn't have a choice, Rocky.
Are you God? Are you God? Is it one of those churches?
Mother God? No, that one's already taken.
Yeah, I am not God, but I am obviously God's mouthpiece on earth.
That's what you should... She is God's mouthpiece.
We're the mouthpiece.
I think you should call yourself the real Mother God.
Oh, there we go. I feel like there's a cult ready for a leader. I can just go take over that cult.
You could. They just do a bunch of drugs
but they need trailers. I don't want that.
You have to finish that. You need to finish that series.
You need to finish it. It's really insane. Oh, God.
It only gets fucking wackier.
The way that her body ends up, you're just like, what is happening?
The Christmas lights.
The Christmas lights.
Even the last episode. Just how much
episode.
How much they play with her body and touch her body and fuck with her body.
Yeah,
from it's Rocky's favorite.
No, it's so twisted. It's the most crazy thing I've ever seen.
Up. Yeah,
it's sad.
She physically turns blue.
Blue.
Her whole body is blue, and you're just
they show the moment she dies when they're like, it is brutal.
It's absolutely wild.
Maybe that's what I'm doing today.
You definitely should. I want to watch it again. It was just so crazy.
Cults are really big right now in the media. There's a bunch of stuff on cults, and it's kind of interesting that's
I think there was a big surge of popular cult documentaries that popped up on Netflix and Hulu and all of that, the streaming services that really took off. So I'm literally almost every other day I'm having a conversation with someone about oh, did you watch this culty documentary? Did you watch this culty documentary? So
yeah. Also, I feel like TikTok is the biggest cult in the world now.
I mean,
social
people
media
have
in itself.
Yeah, no, I mean TikTok's a bad one. People quoting TikTok and just the amount of women I've heard say do you think about the Roman Empire? Which I was what the fuck is that? And then they're like, it's a TikTok trend, and I hear it all the time now. Have you heard of TikTok brain? TikTok brain is a thing now where people can't think outside of TikTok.
Oh, that's
they can't
weird.
think outside of trends and everything TikTok, basically.
Oh, Jesus.
That's absolutely bonkers.
Yeah.
So this comes out. You just had House Party.
What? Oh, yeah. Oh, it was so good. The show was so good. My show was great.
Oh, good. I'm so glad to hear it. It's one of my favorite things with the improv.
I can't wait to actually go to it.
Yeah, what's up with that?
Oh, I live in Reno, so that's hard. Well, why don't you come up here and throw one?
What comics live there that I can get?
That's fair. Good point.
I'd have to look at who has a residency there and invite them.
Okay, good point.
There are no residencies.
There are none.
No, there's not.
No.
There's no permanent residency in a Vegas or in a Reno casino?
No, we just have visitors.
No Wayne Newton for you guys, huh?
No, I'm sad about that. I love Wayne Newton.
So what else do you have coming up, Rocky?
Oh, well, other than House Party, which was 2 days ago, and God, was it good. Craziest one yet. Biggest one ever. No, I'll have another one in March coming up.
Perfect.
Cool.
I'm just on a bunch of different shows around LA. You'd have to look at my Instagram.
What's your Instagram?
Oh, I just changed the name. Yeah, what is it? Oh, Rocky Roberts Comedy.
Oh, yeah. Okay,
cool.
That's an easy one.
Follow Rocky at Rocky Roberts Comedy to see where he's going to be, what he's going to do.
Check out House Party. That's my show. It's a fun time. Music, arts, comedy.
Yes, we love it. It's one of my favorites.
Stacy especially loves it.
I do. I love it so much.
She loves it so much that Rocky had to ban her from coming.
She can't come anymore.
So I'm not allowed to go, which is why I haven't gone.
She sucks up all the fun. No one else can have fun when she's there.
I am a fun sucker.
Fun sucker.
Oh my gosh, I'm dead. Well, Rocky, thank you so much for coming on and dealing with the dogs.
Me. Oh, whatever. I have my own right here.
Blowers.
It's all right. I'm gonna go get my leaf blower out right now. Actually.
I'm glad. And I guess subscribe, download is what the kids say, and join us.
Criminal Minds is the best show that's ever been. It is so exciting, and it's hyper realistic. And the one guy is so hot. The guy with the eyebrows.
The guy with the brows guy.
That guy. Whew.
I'm dead. Oh my gosh! Join us next week for another episode of Criminal Minds. Rocky, you need a nap.
Yeah.